Hi, this is Dr. Ben Morrill. Welcome to episode 93 of Reptile Genetics Weekly. Glad to have you here once again. We're a few weeks into the new year, and it's been a lot of work through Christmas break and New Year's, and still had a couple days ago. I was up till 5 in the morning working on fun stuff. We've got a lot of cool things. Many of them are working already, good to go, but we've made a decision. We have so many cool things that we're really close on that we're going to hold back a little bit until we can share all of it all at once. So I know I've been saying this for a while now, but we've decided to work with our vendors, with Clutch and Morph Market, to get a whole bunch of changes made and updates and new tests and all kinds of things. So unfortunately, I cannot tell you the new stuff today. Maybe not next week either, because it's so early in the week. But we'll see. I think this week and next week on the show itself, we won't be able to. But we may do a live, or I'm not sure how we'll do it. But we've definitely got a lot of cool things. I promise it'll be worth the wait. It's no fun today to get on this show and have me say once again we're pushing it back, but it's so many changes and updates and new tests and things that I think it's going to be worth dropping them all at one point. And that way we'll make sure that both the vendors' websites are all have all the new stuff on there and are ready to go. And hopefully we've been able to kind of test it out, since there's enough things that are different, and make sure everything works well before we go live for all of you customers. So it's coming. I promise. It still is. And I can tell you for sure there are lots of things already working really well, and I think you all are going to dig it. So then also I'll say thank you very much for all of the sheds coming in, and we'll talk briefly about that with Kayla here in a second. But that's been really, really awesome. We really appreciate you all jumping when we put out specific things, asking for sheds. We always see more sheds come. So we really appreciate that you all react and send those in. It's a big part of why we have so much cool stuff going on right now. So that's really, really cool. Very awesome community to be a part of. For updates, we do have fast tests should go out every day this week. We had more cold weather and some shipping delays, and obviously inauguration yesterday and Martin Luther King Day and all of those things. But I think this week we should be in Texas. They're not affected by any of that really. So we should have fast test results going out every day, sex determination going out a couple times this week. And then the next panel results will probably be about 2 weeks out. And as we get closer, I'll let you know for sure on that. Yeah, I think that's what I got. Kayla, how are you doing?
Hey, Ben, I'm doing well. I just wanted to say for folks who are, as far as like we have things coming, but, we can't say what it is. I have some of the insider info, and it is killing me not to say, but I'm so excited. 2025 is going to be amazing. And
it'll be a lot different. Things will be a much faster pace.
Yes. And the stuff that we're rolling out, like, unless it's like a big panel or something, like individual tests will be fast tests from the get-go. So I think that's really awesome that we're able to do that. So we're excited.
It's a lot of work up front, but yeah, and we are also very thankful to Clutch and Morph Market for jumping in and taking the time. That's a lot of work on their side too, and we're very thankful that we wouldn't be able to make as many tests available as fast as we do if we didn't have them doing the part they're doing, because Sean and I don't know how to do that. So
yeah, same. Like I have like this much ATML experience, but coding and also, dealing with all of the shed tests and everything going through there, like props to our vendors for doing all that. So they are appreciated. But yeah, as far as sheds we are looking for right now, we have shown this the last couple of episodes for ball python morphs. Our shed samples wanted to help us finish up our complexes, such as Spider, 8-Ball, Blue-Eyed Lucy, the stuff we have offered and things that are about to come out. So Ben, how are we looking on that end with these
excellent guys? Yeah, once again, thank you all so much for jumping in. I just got a mocha shed yesterday. We were looking for mocha.
Ooh.
Talked to somebody last week that has mocha, so those are just two that are off the top of my head, but we've gotten sheds for so many of those that are a little bit harder to get, but we want to close out those complexes. And then the Nyala, the Stranger, Mahogany, those three, thank you all for sending more of those in.
Awesome.
Another one that popped up on a live last night that I heard about, Tommy from Inky Clouds, she said they were talking about Scrambler, and someone was saying they've got sheds to send in and wanted to know how to send in Scrambler sheds. So if any of you watching this, if there's something not on this list and we don't have a test for it, we want you to send those too. So
yes,
you
please.
Yes, we have that address right there, I guess, on that side. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So we've got the address there. And if it's something that we don't have up there, like Scrambler, we definitely, it's something we're not focusing on right now. But once we get enough of those in, like specifically with Scrambler, once we get a significant amount in, whether it takes 2 months or 10 months or 2 years, whatever that point gets there, we will definitely run them and get that going. So
definitely. And it's not just ball python sheds we're looking for. This is just like a splatter of some of the other posts that we've made in the past. Hog noses, corn snakes, Pantherophis in general, mostly because I'm a black rat snake nerd. But shorty sheds, so your bloods and your short-taileds, retics, berms, so your giant species, your big chunky species, and your colubrids. We are looking for sheds from those guys as well. So, if the question starts with, can you guys use? The answer is probably yes.
yeah.
So, just letting you guys know that we're looking for pretty much all of the above, because that's something we want to do at some point. And sheds keep for years, so it's okay if you send it well in advance.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yep, I have sheds that have been in my basement for, it's between I think 7 and 8 years now, and I'll pull one out every once in a while and just to see if it still runs, and they do. So that's in a Ziploc in a basement for 7 years and they still work. So
yeah, all we need is of course write the species on there, but the animal ID, any known morphs, any possible morphs, and if you have any lineage and breeder information, whether you were the one who produced the animal or where you got it from, if you know that, all of that is useful. And you don't need to send the whole shed, just a little patch like you see in the picture. That is like 60 or more samples just in that picture. And that is pretty much all we're ever going to need. And plus that means, less, you can mail more at once by doing that. So I just wanted to make sure you guys know that. And we, as always, you guys are the shed donor shout out. We appreciate all of you who have been doing this. It has kept us going from the start.
Yes.
But yeah, that is, so as far as business stuff goes, that's all we have. So now let's get to our special guest who we're bringing up now. This is Justin of KINOVA.
Yes.
How you guys doing?
Good. How about you?
Good. Super excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me back on.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We had a couple of pretty cool instances come through testing from animals from you. And as I was showing, I had sent a link to Kayla so she could kind of look at it and pull some pictures. And she's like, well, tell him, Kayla, what was your reaction when you were looking at that link?
Oh, so it was a link to Clutch, one of our vendors, and because Justin uses that to organize a lot of, or possibly your entire collection.
Yes.
And I'd never actually seen like the Clutch interface from the breeder end, and oh my gosh, it was really cool, like super clean and kind of fun to navigate actually. So it's really cool, and we figured, well, we could show pictures, or we could just have Justin take us through what he sees. So
yeah, I'll just show you on my side, look
Yeah.
at the animals and talk about the story. It's a pretty interesting story of how these some of these animals came to be.
love it.
Let me pull it up here.
Sounds good.
All right. Let me know if you can see.
There we go.
There it is.
All right. Okay, so we had this really amazing animal pop up, and I'm just going to look it up here. This amazing animal, oh, I'll get to the right tab here. This amazing blue-eyed Lucy popped out of a clutch just out of the blue. And we'll look at some of the pictures, and it was such a shocker because it was from animals that had no history of having any blue-eyed Lucy genetics in them whatsoever. A complete surprise. And you know what? We've been doing this long enough that complete surprises aren't too big a surprise anymore.
Yeah.
But this animal, we had no idea where to even start. And so if we look at like its family tree a little bit, we had two adults that were actually siblings. They were both, pull up the female here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the mom to the clutch. They were both inchy red stripe, het DG clowns, pos het paint. And you see here a little bit of a spoiler alert here. We had no idea that there was any blue-eyed Lucy genes in them. And using clutch we took and we actually brought it back. We figured out, okay, so the original mom was a het paint that we bought from Ricardo over at Breeders' Circle. We bred it to a DG clown, and she was very visual. And I always thought, oh, it's the het paint showing through. It must be the het paint showing through, because some het paints are a little visual. And so we just took and bred a couple of those offspring together, and we ended up with this clutch right here and our blue-eyed Lucy right here. And sometimes it's amazing to me when you look at this chain of events, and it took us this long to find out that we had a blue-eyed Lucy genetic in this chain.
So that was 3 generations?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And the funny thing is that, you know, it's funny how if not knowing something can lead you to, you know, down some wrong paths, because I was holding back animals based on them looking different than I expected, not realizing that I had another gene in there that could be making something a little different, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that, you know, het paint is typically, we call it recessive. It has some visual markers, but these markers I was seeing was stronger. I thought, wow, I have a great line of het paint. No, Russo. So we'll look at this animal again up close, but interestingly, it has some good pattern. It came out of girl, and my first thought was maybe it's a Partho animal. And RGIs is where you guys come in. We set it in. You ran the full blue-eyed Lucy test on it, and it came back as a Super Russo. And you see that here. And we tested the whole thing. It also came back as Super Inchy, which both parents had Inchy.
Yeah.
And het DG and het clown, and it's still a 66% het paint.
So the het's confirmed not Partho.
Exactly, because it's not visual DG or visual clown, it's not a Partho baby. And yeah, now we have about 24 more sheds to send you guys to find out all these other that could be Russo, and we don't know yet. We know if they're Russo.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a cool, like the white and then just the even lighter white. It's like when people with a really light complexion get like white tattoos in there. It's almost, that's kind of what that animal looks like a little bit. It's really pretty.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, that's the story of our Super Russo, and you know, we don't have any Russos in our collection, but actually we do. We didn't know.
Surprise!
And you know, it would have been interesting, you know, to find out if it was Partho. Like, oh, what a surprise! We have Russo in the, you know, the dam, but you know, that it wasn't. That means that both sides are Russo. Which, like you said, if you're holding back the coolest, cleanest looking ones. Yeah. You held back 2 that had Russo, but you did send in the dam's shed, and we did test it, and she is a Russo. She's a clean Russo. So yeah, so that just goes to show those of you, you've got something funky going on. If you think it might be in the blue-eyed Lucy complex or the yellow belly complex or your very spider complex, like it's worth doing a run. And you might be, like Justin just said, you might be selecting for something that you don't even need to select for.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's super cool.
Definitely.
So we have one more to show you. This is a really interesting animal. Let me get back to my window here. This is we show this on our channel, but this is an MJ Xanthid clutch. Jay.
And while you're pulling that up, I'll just inject in here. I remember watching your videos years and years ago, and your breeding philosophy, you're to me, the people I was exposed to anyway, you're the most willing to breed hets to hets or multiple hets to hets, and you're like, you know, we'll just see what happens. We'll kind of, you're my impression of your breeding strategy was you were willing to roll the dice and, you know, maybe not make as many vigils as you could to in the future have a chance to make multiple homozygous. And when you showed me this the other day, I was like, yeah, this is what happens when you have that.
What happens when you play the long game? You know, in the end, that was always my philosophy is that no matter what people said, this was not going to go away. That I would be doing this in 20 years. And if I'm doing this in 20 years, what would I do now if I knew I had that long? And this is what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the animal that we hatched. This is just an amazing, amazing animal. And through shed tests.
So many supers.
Right. So Xanthics, when you go to Xanthic pieds, you end up with a little bit of diminishing results because if you want to make the really bright pieds and then you make it Xanthic, the pattern disappears a bit. And so if you look at this animal, you can see that it's just a little bit faded, right? As far as the pattern goes, because all the orange is gone and only a little bit of black remains.
Mm-hmm.
But when we sent it in for shed testing, you see our validations here. It came in as Super Orange Dream, Super Enchi, Yellow Belly, one copy of Yellow Belly, and Super Hurricane. It's our first Super Hurricane pied, by the way. And it's visually Xanthic and piebald. Now, Super Vanilla is the only one that I can't yet test for. You guys need to help me with that one. But based on the top of that head there, that's a Super Vanilla head that I'm pretty used to seeing. I feel confident that it is also Super Vanilla.
Wow.
And that's why we have it here as possible. But this would make it a 6 homozygous snake. So we have Super OD, Super Enchi, Super Vanilla, one copy of Yellow Belly, Super Hurricane, MJ Xanthic pied. And it is just, it's you know what? It's honestly cool because of we're snake nerds. Is generally speaking is not on the same level as maybe one of its siblings, which I'll show you here. So if you look at siblings, they have this wonderful animal that's not visual MJ, it's head MJ pied. But we have Super OD, Super Enchi, and Super Hurricane. So basically we have almost the same animal, but not in pied, not in MJ. And so you end up with this gorgeous animal, but the previous one can make lots of these really easy, you know?
Wow.
Easier, because you still have to have the genes on the other side to make more supers like this. But it'll make really beautiful animals really easily. And yeah, just what a cool thing. If you look at our genetic test here, this is what it looks like when we get our tests in, the validations. So heterozygous yellow belly, homozygous for all 3 of these. And yeah. And I love how you can just switch here between. There's only 3 babies in this clutch. We had wonderful odds.
Wow. Yeah.
This ended up being not Hurricane at all. So if we look at our genetic test, it was negative for Hurricane, homozygous OD, heterozygous for Enchi and yellow belly. So, but still beautiful pied. Beautiful. It's pretty good.
That's amazing. I love those, like, you could see where the little, smiley faces would have been, but they're faded out.
Yeah, they're faded because the Super OD and the Super Enchi, right? The single gene Enchi is really, really making a huge difference there.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
So yeah, you get great odds. The parents was a visual. So this is what really led to it. Is the dad was actually Super OD, Super Enchi, and Hurricane. So he had two homozygouses, and homozygous for MJ Xanthic and pied, of course. So we were just able to kind of just stack on things so quickly and easily, and just with 3 eggs get great odds because we put those amazing animals on the shelf, 3-4 years prior.
Yeah.
Wow, what a beast! Yeah. Like that's, oh my gosh.
And that is a male?
This is a boy. Yeah. Whenever I see these like super homozygous stuff come out, I'm like, oh no, it's a girl. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a boy. So we're okay.
Yeah.
Plus amazing.
Yeah.
Plus the single gene yellow belly. That's, even if it was a female, you would know it wasn't Partho. So
it'd be an ivory then. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true. Yeah. Wow. That's cool. So that's a holdback, right?
Yes, for sure. Replace his dad and help us out. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is
how
awesome.
Cool. And I love that, I love seeing like what you see on the breeder side of things in clutch too. That's really, really handy.
It's so neat. We love to be able to go to these animals and look them up and say, first of all, you can see the validations right there on the record. So when you send this to the customer, you don't have to tell them we did this testing. They can see they did this testing.
Yeah.
You can go to the genetics test tab and see not only what it did prove for, but it's also really important to be able to see what it didn't prove to be, because you may forget you even did that test and later on you're looking for something that shouldn't exist. And then being able to flip through and see the lineages and trace them backwards is so key whenever we have something pop up that we don't know about. We don't have to go finding paperwork or looking our social media posts to find out what we bred that year. So it's an amazing tool. We're loving it.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's awesome. Amazing odds. 6 homozygous. That's so cool. So congrats.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on and share.
Of course.
Yes, and hopefully we can validate the vanilla result before too long. That shouldn't be too far down the road.
It's got to be close to fire, right? You guys have fire right now, so yeah.
Yep. We'll have
awesome.
it soon.
Those are, whenever we do like the morph spotlights on those too, I'm really excited to see like how that breaks down. Where, at least as far as like we're able to explain, even if there's no publication yet. So that's exciting.
That is another thing for 2025. We will have some publications in 2025. So
yay!
so
Awesome.
Whenever we've had a test that has a publication, it's been somebody else's, but some of ours will get published this year. So
very cool.
Awesome.
All right. So did you have anything else you wanted to show us?
That's it for this week. Give me a little bit of time. I'll make something new for you.
You always come through with that. So
yes.
Well, awesome. Thanks so much for joining us today. And for everybody watching today, really hope you enjoyed this. Cool look at clutch and also these amazing clutches that Justin has produced as always. So yeah, thank you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment. It really helps us in the algorithm and helps other snake and genetics nerds find us. So yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next week, and hopefully we'll have some good news for you in the next couple of weeks here. So thanks everybody. Thank you, Justin, and we'll see you guys later. Outro in 3, 2, 1.